According to Wikipedia, there are anywhere from 50 to 150 different species of basil. In this video, I'll be growing 5 varieties, the 5 beautiful plants you see here. We have Greek, Genovese, lemon, opal, and Thai. This offers a nice combination of flavors. To germinate the seeds, I saturated some cotton balls in water and then set up 2 cotton balls in each cup with 2 seeds on each cotton ball for each of the 5 varieties. I labeled each cup so I would know which is which, although they do look a little different from each other once they mature. Alright, we're going to start with the Thai basil. This should produce nice large leaves with purple stems. Let's see if you can see that. If you take a look there, you can see the purple stems. It smells and tastes a little like black licorice and is native to Southeast Asia. Next is the opal seed packet. This should produce nice purple looking leaves. If you grow this as a microgreen, you can add nice color to salads or as a garnish. I think it's grown mostly for its color, but it does have a light, mild taste with a slight lemon-lime tinge to it. Next we have the lemon basil. This is grown in northeastern Africa, southern Asia, and is used in a lot of Arabic, Persian, and Indonesian cooking. It has a fragrant lemon scent and a delicate tangy flavor. Next up is Genovese basil. This is a type of sweet basil that originated in Italy and is usually what we think of in the United States when we think of basil. It has a sweet, slightly spicy flavor and smell, and it's great for making pesto. And last we have Greek basil. This plant is on the small side when it's fully mature and has a sweet, spicy flavor. Wikipedia says it was probably originally from Chile, but it has been cultivated and used in the Mediterranean region and is great for making pesto as well. Oh, wow. So now we have these 5 varieties all set up on their cozy cotton balls in a cookie container, of course. I snapped the lid on to keep the humidity in until the seeds germinate, and then I put these on a shelf out of direct sunlight. For the purposes of counting, let's call this day 1. Here we are 2 days later, so I'll call this day 3, and I see some tails coming out of some of the seeds. So they are starting to sprout. I don't know if you can see that. Here is the Thai basil. I don't see anything going on there. This one is the opal, and I don't know if you can see it, but there are little sprouts coming out of the seeds. This one is the Genovese. I don't think there's much happening there. And this one is the lemon basil, and you can see some sprouting taking place there. And here's the Greek basil. You can see some little sprouts on these seeds. So the opal, lemon, and Greek have some sprouts. The other seeds don't show any signs of germinating yet. It's only been 3 days, but hey, one can hope. Now it's the next day, day 4. The opal and lemon are germinating nicely. This Greek basil seems to have 1 seed that's a dud. The other 3 are sprouting. The Genovese is starting to sprout as well. And then we have the Thai here. It also looks like one of the seeds is not doing anything, but the other 3 seem to be germinating just fine. Now it's again 2 days later, so it's day 5, and here's what the opal basil looks like. That's going to be very pretty when it's fully mature. Even as a microgreen, it's very pretty. And this one is the lemon. I only see 3 seedlings doing well. It looks like I might lose the 4th one. Here's the Thai. This one has all 4 sprouting nicely. This is the Genovese doing nicely, and here's the Greek. At this point, I left the lid off and put these in a sunny window. On day 8, I decided it's time to give the seedlings some nutrients, so I mixed up some AeroGarden nutrients into water and put it into a small tray. Then I cut slits at the bottom of the plastic cups and set all the cups in the tray. This way they can all feed from the water in the tray rather than me adding water to each cup individually. Now it's 2 weeks since I planted these seeds, and I think they are ready to go into their final homes. The cotton balls have all turned green from algae, and the seedlings are growing taller, so it's time. I set up 5 Folgers jars. Yes, I drank the coffee first, covered them with aluminum foil to keep out the light so more algae doesn't grow, and I labeled all the jars. These are all filled with hydroponic nutrient solution. This time I used what I normally use, Grow Big from Fox Farms, and I filled each jar to the bottom of the net cup. These are 3-inch net cups. They fit perfectly into many types of jars, including wide-mouthed mason jars, and of course Folgers coffee jars. So I'm going to plant these green algae-covered cotton balls into the jars, starting with the lemon basil. It looks like only 2 of the lemon basil seeds ultimately made it. Not a great germination rate, but we have 2, and 2 is more than 1, so that's good. The water level in the jars was a bit too high for the little cotton balls, so I poured off some, and now it's perfect. The 2 cotton balls with the lemon basil seedlings go down into the bottom of the net cup, and then I filled the gaps all around with hydroponic clay pebbles to keep the light out and also to give support to the seedlings. As they grow, I will fill in the area surrounding the stems with more hydroponic pebbles, but for now this is good enough till they grow some more. Here are all the jars lined up, and now that everything is set, we can forget. Now it's exactly 1 month later, day 31, and we actually left these babies alone for 2 weeks. Here's what happens to plants that are planted in soil if you leave them for 2 weeks. That was a red habanero, in case you're interested. But these basil are all doing well without any care. The jars hold a good amount of water, so when we came back from our trip, I had to refill the jars with more hydroponic nutrients, and they were all happy to see us back, but they probably could have survived another week without us. Here you can see how nicely the Thai basil has filled out. This is the opal, it looks pretty, and this is the Greek basil. Here we have the lemon, and this is the Genovese, also nice. In case I didn't mention it, these have been under an LED light, 16 hours on, 8 hours off. I'm setting up this foodie hydroponic tower, so when I prune the basil, I'll plant some of the cuttings in this tower, and we will have tons of basil, which means tons of pesto. So go ahead and grow some basil for yourself. It's easy to do, and there are some interesting varieties to experiment with. These 5 seed packets cost me $10, and I'll definitely get more than $10 worth of basil from these plants. That was a fun grow, and it will keep growing for a long time. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Bye.